Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Ginny. Today I'm going to share with you this fun flip-flap card base and how to cut it. So let me set this aside and I'll show you how to get started. Okay, I'm going to start with my flip-flop card. I've got this piece of cardstock that measures 6 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to lift my arm and I'm going to place this on the 2 5/8 inch mark. Once I have it there, I can close. I've got my cutting and my scoring blade, but for this particular activity I am going to use my stylus so that you can see it a little easier. So I am going to place my stylus here in the cutting track and I am going to score down to 1 inch. Now if I was doing this with my score blade, I could slide this down and the little tick mark on my score blade here will line up with the 1. Once I have that finished, I'm going to start at 4 1/2 inches and slide down to the edge of the cardstock. I'm going to slide this in and I'm going to measure it 3 5/8 and I'm going to repeat. So I'm going to measure down to the 1 inch mark and then 4 1/2 to the edge. And I've got these 2 score lines that I hope you can see a little easier. Okay, I'm going to slide this back in and I'm going to place this on the 1 inch mark. This time I'm going to use my cutting blade and once again I'm going to slide that in. I'm going to line up this little tick mark here to the 1 inch and I'm going to slide it down to 4 1/2 inches. And I'm using that little tick mark here against the 4 1/2 inch mark. Once I have that finished, I've got this 1 inch section and my cut line and I'm going to slide this over to 5 1/4. I'm going to place my track back down. I've already got this on 4 1/2, so I'm going to simply slide up to the 1 inch mark like so and lift. And I've got my 2 cut lines on either side. At this point I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to once again set it on the 1 inch mark. I've got to cut to the score line here, which is why that's so important to see, and the next score line. Okay, I've got that on the 1 inch mark and I'm going to cut between the cut line and the score, and then the score and the cut. So I'm going to close this. I've already got it on 1 inch, so I'm going to slide this blade down to 2 5/8, which is where that score line is. And you don't have to worry about if you don't get that exact. You can always use your paper snips and connect things if you need to. And then I'm going to slide this down to 3 5/8, close my track and slide it down to 5 1/4. I've got that done and I'm going to slide this over to 4 1/2. Once I have that done, I can take my 5 1/4 inch mark here and slide up to 3 5/8. Lift the track, slide it to 2 5/8, and up to 1. There we go. At this point you can check things to make sure they're where you want it. And I've got a corner here that didn't connect, so I can either put it back on my track or I can simply take my paper snip and cut. And I've got one more corner here like so. Because I'm doing this on video, I can't really look straight down at the trimmers because I didn't want to block your view, and so it's a little harder to see those marks. There we go. I've got all 4 corners now. I'm going to fold on each of the score lines, 1, 2, 1, 2, to make sure that is free and clear. And if it's not, I can use my paper snips and once again score, and I am ready to decorate. So there you go. I've got my fun flip-flop card. Let's see, I'm going to fold this forward and this one back like so, and I am ready to decorate. So there you go, a quick and easy flip-flop card base to start your project with. And of course, if you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. You can get there from my blog, Stamp with Ginny. Thanks for joining me.